Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 178 based on novel. So let's start. Is he an invincible being? The 15 of us at the peak level joined forces and are completely powerless. This must be invincible. Shouldn't invincible beings be ushered away? While being swept away by the collapsed space-time, being forced towards Luo Feng, Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and the 15 Divine Emperors were somewhat unable to accept what they were experiencing at the moment. They had actually offended an invincible. In the Dark Sacred Realm, the peak level is already considered the highest. After all, an invincible being is born and will be ushered away. Invincible means unchallengeable. Invincible means a high probability of breaking free from the braided cage. Once it's determined that a cultivator has the potential to be invincible, peak-level powerhouses would willingly become followers, hoping the invincible one can give them some opportunity in the future. We've met an invincible, yet didn't become friends with him, didn't follow him, instead, joined forces to attack him. How did this happen? The Battle of Yuan City just took place not long ago. At that time he was merely at the peak level. It's only been 1,000 epochs. How is he invincible now? Did we actually try to rob an invincible? Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and the 15 Divine Emperors were desperate. Rumble tilde 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 tilde. When the 15 were brought close to Luo Feng by the collapsed space-time, an invisible force enveloped them, finally stabilizing them, all standing before Luo Feng. Greetings, Luo Feng Divine Emperor. Though these 15 Divine Emperors felt flustered and desperate at heart, on the surface they were respectful, not daring any disrespect. You came to rob me. Luo Feng looked at them with interest, while the space-time within billions of kilometers kept collapsing and twisting, leaving these 15 Divine Emperors no hope of escape. We were foolish. We were misled. We coveted resources and succumbed to greed. Please, Luo Feng Divine Emperor, spare us. The Divine Emperors pleaded, each one with a low posture. Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, Kaizhen, what do you think? Luo Feng glanced to the side, where Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kaizhen remained stable amidst the collapsed space-time under his protection. They looked at the scene surrounding billions of kilometers, somewhat shocked. I can handle it. Is this how it's done? Brother Luo Feng is already invincible? They haven't been following him for long, not enough time to accumulate deep ties. Brother Luo Feng, Bo Xiu was the first to steady his emotions, then said, among cultivators, robbery is a major enmity. They came to rob, however Luo Feng decides to punish, it wouldn't be excessive. Even if he massacred their avatars, making it impossible for them to survive in the Dark Sacred Realm, it would be justified. Right, Kaizhen instantly followed up, Brother Luo Feng already has invincible strength, he only needs to spread the word to 5 cities, and the entire Dark Sacred Realm will no longer have space for them to survive. Their words made Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and the 15 Divine Emperors somewhat anxious. Most of them emerged from the source world, losing a few avatars is insignificant. But if Luo Feng were to eradicate them, making it impossible to thrive in the Dark Sacred Realm, the impact would be great. They accumulated wealth and battle merit to exchange for resources at the large-scale Primordial Hall. Without access to the Dark Sacred Realm, cultivation resources would be reduced by 99%. We know we've made a grave mistake. Secret Ruins Divine Emperor proactively knelt down, please, Luo Feng Divine Emperor, grant us a glimmer of hope, do not sever our path of cultivation. The grand presence of a peak-level being, proactively kneeling? The 14 companions hesitated slightly, but soon one by one they knelt down too. As the kneeling number grew, even those initially hesitant ultimately knelt down. We admit our wrongdoing, please, Luo Feng Divine Emperor, grant us a glimmer of hope. Each one pleaded kneeling. Clearly, they could hide in the source world indulging in pleasure, yet for the chance of cultivating, they chose to plead kneeling. Luo Feng watched them. Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, Kaizhen also watched from the side, without interrupting. At this moment, only Luo Feng could decide the fate of the 15 Divine Emperors. Since you came to plunder me, you must pay the price. Luo Feng felt no pity for these robbers, but most of these 15 Divine Emperors were Source World cultivators, whom he couldn't completely kill. Each of you will compensate me with 5 trillion primordial crystals, totaling 75 trillion primordial crystals. This amount is nearly equivalent to what I sold with that batch of low-level primordial life corpses. Luo Feng looked at them. Compensate me 75 trillion primordial crystals, and I will let you go. Otherwise, I promise that the 15 of you will never be able to establish yourselves in the dark sacred realm. After this robbery and Luo Feng's demand for massive compensation, the causality between both parties instantly deepened. Luo Feng could use the biomimetic destruction eye to lock onto the location of each of their avatars anytime. 75 trillion primordial crystals. The 15 divine emperors present were somewhat stunned. Are we each to pay 5 trillion, or must we collectively pay 75 trillion primordial crystals? Secret Ruins Divine Emperor asked first. Collectively pay. Luo Feng replied, 1 missing, and it won't do. 1 missing, all the rest will be implicated. Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and the 15 felt a shiver in their hearts. Among them, there are differences in strength. The leader like Secret Ruins Divine Emperor, whose formation expertise is among the top 3 among cultivators in the dark sacred realm, can effortlessly offer up 5 trillion primordial crystals. But some weaker ones among them, who consumed a lot of resources and exchanged for battle merit, simply can't afford 5 trillion primordial crystals. I know it's not easy for you to gather 75 trillion primordial crystals. Luo Feng watched them. I give you 1,000 epochs to gather. If after 1,000 epochs you still haven't paid in full, I'll dispatch my avatar across the dark sacred realm and obliterate every one of your avatars. Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and the 15 felt apprehensive. A target for the invincible? When Luo Feng breaks free from the braided cage, could he become a target for a high-level primordial life? Or even a world-level primordial life? We will gather the compensation within 1,000 eras. The Secret Ruins Divine Emperor spoke respectfully, and the other Divine Emperors had no choice. We will definitely gather the compensation, they all promised in front of Luo Feng. At this moment, they regretted immensely. They couldn't plunder even a bit, but instead owed 75 trillion primordial crystals. At this moment, a black ship finally arrived. The 8 friends of Sirius on the ship looked towards the front from a distance. We've caught up. I can confirm, Bo Xiu and the others are still there, their avatars are still alive, they should still be holding on. The 8 friends of Sirius rushed towards the location at full speed with the black ship, but when they got close and saw the scene encompassing billions of kilometers, they were somewhat dazed and unconsciously slowed down. What's going on? Why has this space-time collapsed? They were taken aback by the sight of space-time collapsing into a vortex. Everyone knew how stable the dark sacred realm was. Only a peak-level existence could make even short-distance transitions. What kind of power could cause such a vast collapse of space-time? The 8 friends of Sirius, a voice suddenly echoed in their ears. The originally collapsed range of space-time expanded suddenly, instantly enveloping the black ship of the 8 friends of Sirius, capturing it without resistance and dragging it towards the center of the collapsed space-time. Not good, we can't stabilize the ship. The collapse here is too terrifying, we can't escape. The 8 friends of Sirius were a bit panicked, and suddenly they could clearly see the scene at the center of the space-time. There, a man in black clothes with black hair stood. This black-clothed, black-haired man was the absolute core of the vast surrounding space-time. He exuded an oppressive aura that made them tremble. The space-time collapse centered on him, becoming more dreadful the closer they were to him. At this moment, Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kaizhen respectfully stood aside. At this moment, all 15 Divine Emperors, including the Secret Ruins Divine Emperor, knelt before this black-clothed, black-haired man. Search *the novelfire.net * website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The 8 friends of Sirius were shocked to the core. This scene was too intense. For peak-level existences, even if a few avatars were destroyed, kneeling was unlikely. But now, all 15 peak-level existences were kneeling. Such a wide-ranging collapse of spacetime is actually due to Luo Feng Divine Emperor? This kind of power far surpasses the peak level. He is an invincible existence. The 8 friends of Sirius instantly judged Luo Feng's terrifying strength. The secret ruins Divine Emperor and the other 15 came first. Luo Feng looked at them, and now the 8 friends of Sirius have arrived. Are you also here to assassinate me? The 8 friends of Sirius were dumbfounded. The 8 friends of Sirius are savage by nature, most likely also here to assassinate Luo Feng Divine Emperor, one of the kneeling Divine Emperors said. They set out from Chengfeng City almost simultaneously with us. We just arrived a bit earlier, another kneeling Divine Emperor said. Luo Feng nodded, also came to assassinate me. No, we are not, the 8 friends of Sirius quickly responded, hurriedly saying. We just came to watch the excitement and see this great battle. The secret ruins Divine Emperor's flying boat is much faster than ours. We never had the intention of assassinating them. We were even thinking of helping Luo Feng Divine Emperor and fighting against the secret ruins Divine Emperor. Battling with the secret ruins Divine Emperor would also temper ourselves and aid our cultivation. We used to follow Senior Sky Wolf. In terms of resources, we're not lacking. We have no need for plundering. The 8 friends of Sirius, though slightly tainted and a bit savage in disposition, remained absolutely calm in the face of this scene, not daring to show the slightest arrogance. Luo Feng nodded slightly upon hearing this. Makes some sense. Those 8 are greedy and savage, acting at will, Bo Xiu remarked, but their flying boat is too slow for an assassination. Given their disposition, it's very likely they would act against the secret ruins Divine Emperor. Brother Bo Xiu, you're absolutely right. We intended to help Luo Feng Divine Emperor and deal with the secret ruins Divine Emperor, the 8 friends of Sirius said anxiously. At this time, in the oldest large primordial hall in Primordial City, the first city established in the dark sacred realm. The large primordial hall covered a vast area, larger than Yuan City, and contained numerous cave mansions within. A silver-haired, silver-eyebrowed man gazed distantly towards where Luo Feng was. Using the secret treasure carried with him to enhance, the power of his massive physical body manifests in such a way that causes such a widespread collapse of space-time, the silver-haired, silver-eyebrowed man marveled. This power already far exceeds the peak level, certainly considered invincible. His physical body surpasses even the super-limit level primordial wild hoof significantly, said a fire-red-robed woman also watching from afar. Without breaking free from the braided cage, his physical body has already reached such a level. Truly rare. Confirming that he is indeed invincible, then let's report to the Lord, the silver-haired, silver-eyebrowed man said. I agree, let's report to the Lord, the fire-red-robed woman nodded in agreement. In a palace deep within the large primordial hall, a silver-haired, silver-browed man and a woman in a fiery red robe reported together, patiently waiting. Buzz. An invisible wave descended, transforming into an elder, who was the senior Yuan that had seen Luo Feng before. Lord. The silver-haired, silver-browed man and the fiery red-robed woman were incredibly respectful. Although they too were high-level primordial life forms that had escaped the braided cage, it was precisely because they had escaped that cage that they understood the gap between themselves and the Lord. Ge Yefeya, Yuan smiled and said, as an invincible level finally emerged from the dark sacred realm. His name is Luo Feng, from the source world, land of origin, and he has only been in the dark sacred realm for 1,000 epochs, the silver-haired, silver-browed man said. The fiery red-robed woman also said, his spiritual will hasn't yet escaped the braided cage, nor has he converted to the primordial bloodline system, but his strength is already at the invincible level. A wisp of Yuan's consciousness descended upon the dark sacred realm, and nothing that happened within it could be hidden from him. He already knew everything that had happened to Luo Feng. Luo Feng? Yuan looked from afar. At this moment, Luo Feng was causing the collapse of the vast realm void, with secret ruins Divine Emperor and 15 others kneeling, the 8 friends of Sirius uneasy, and Bo Xiu and 3 others attending on the side. A little guy from the land of origin. Yuan certainly knew Luo Feng. In his domain, he would always take a look at every ultimate realm born from the source world. Once again, someone emerges from the source world. Yuan shook his head slightly. The billion worlds we built, though far exceeding the source world in number, have world origin, with too many flaws compared to the source world origin. The creatures they nurture have obviously less potential in cultivation. The billion worlds have a larger quantity, even stronger bloodlines, and many become divine emperors. But the further one goes, the higher the proportion of source world powerhouses becomes. Those who reach the end to become primordial lords are all from the source world. Lord, should we guide Luo Feng? The silver-haired, silver-browed man asked. No hurry. Yuan looked at Luo Feng. He is just one step away from the half-primordial life and death path, and he is perfecting it now. At this time, do not disturb him. Once he has perfected the half-primordial life and death path, I will then guide him. He is already at the invincible level. Every cultivator in the dark sacred realm who reaches the invincible level will be guided, the silver-haired, silver-browed man couldn't help but say. If Luo Feng is not guided, it might cause confusion among many dark sacred realm cultivators. Let them be confused, Yuan smiled slightly. The ones I truly aim to guide are the cultivators who are about to escape the braided cage. If one spiritual will escape the braided cage, refines the world-level primordial bloodline successfully, or reaches the half-primordial level fusion Dao, I will guide them if any one of these three conditions is met. Luo Feng currently does not meet any. We understand, said the fiery red-robed woman on the side. If one spiritual will can escape the braided cage, they can resist higher spiritual pollution and have hope of completely refining the high-level primordial bloodline, becoming a high-level primordial life. Achieving something by refining the world-level primordial bloodline, becoming a high-level primordial life, is also quite easy. But this Luo Feng, how can he have such strength if his life and death Dao hasn't reached the half-primordial level? The fiery red-robed woman Yefeya was somewhat puzzled, and the silver-haired man was also confused. Yuan smiled. Even though both are fusion Dao, the display of strength varies. Yuan looked at Luo Feng from afar. This Luo Feng's life and death Dao pursues the extreme. Walking the extreme path, though it makes the journey difficult, the strength is indeed formidable. An extreme path. Qiu Ge and Yefeya nodded slightly. In the fusion Dao, one should focus more on balance. Once the path becomes extreme, the difficulty rapidly increases. Yuan watched Luo Feng with interest. I'm looking forward to seeing how far Luo Feng can go. Yuan only paid slight attention to the ultimate realm of the source world. He only valued the ordinary invincible level slightly more. But for half-primordial fusion Dao cultivators, Yuan was immensely looking forward to it. You too must keep an eye on Luo Feng. As soon as he reaches half-primordial, inform me immediately, Yuan instructed. Yes, Qiu Ge and Yefeya respectfully complied. Yuan then disappeared. Asterisk 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 asterisk. At that moment, the collapsed temporal and spatial realm had already returned to calm. We will definitely gather full compensation within 1,000 epochs. The attitude of Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and the 15 others was sincere. Facing an invincible entity, they had no other thoughts and only wished to dispel this invincible entity's hostility. Luo Feng nodded. Let's go. Luo Feng immediately took Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kaizhen onto the spaceship. Respectfully sending off Luo Feng Divine Emperor, the 8 friends of Sirius were also very respectful, still filled with lingering fear. Fortunately, Luo Feng Divine Emperor was wise enough not to vent his anger on them. Rip! A crack appeared in the sky, and the distant spaceship instantly passed through the crack, disappearing at the horizon. See a TH novel, F.I.ep website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Long-distance space travel. Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kaizhen were astonished. They could clearly feel the spaceship traversing between the cracks in space, with every journey covering an immensely vast distance. It could already be described as long-distance space travel. Luo Feng glanced at them. Previously, there was no rush to hurry because he was quite interested in Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and the others. After all, being able to defeat the 15 of them together was proof that he had reached the invincible level. From this battle, their cooperation of 15 was only mediocre, Luo Feng mused. Without a doubt, I should be considered at the invincible level recognized by the Dark Sacred Realm. At the invincible level, it is said one will be guided. Why hasn't anyone guided me yet? Luo Feng thought. He is not in a hurry to travel. On one hand, he wants to test his own strength, and on the other hand, he wants to showcase it, so that they might come to escort him. Brother Luo Feng. Though Bo Xiu's feelings were turbulent, his mind was sharp, allowing him to guess a hint of Luo Feng's current thoughts, and he immediately continued, by publicly showcasing your invincible strength this time, I believe it won't be long before Senior Yuan comes to escort you. Bo Xiu added, Senior Yuan and they are busy with matters, so it might take some time, even a delay of a few thousand eras isn't uncommon. Luo Feng nodded. Let's head to the large primordial hall first. Luo Feng no longer held back, controlling the ship, using the seams of heaven and earth, to speed toward Primordial City in a superfast manner. In Chengfeng City, some pinnacle beings dispatched avatars outside the city to witness this great battle. The Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and the Wolf 8 companions have returned. Through causal sensing, they all confirmed that the fastest-traveling Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and the Wolf 8 companions had all returned. It seems the pillage has ended. I can sense that Bo Xiu and the others are still alive, heading straight for Primordial City. It seems Luo Feng Divine Emperor could not stand against them, so they surrendered, willingly offering tens of trillions of primordial crystals, allowing the Secret Ruins Divine Emperor to let them go. These pinnacle beings speculated. Looking at the results. Luo Feng's side, the Secret Ruins Divine Emperor's side, and the Wolf 8 companions' side, two sides pursued the other, yet all three sides remained living well. They could only speculate that Luo Feng's side obediently lowered their heads, offering treasures to avoid slaughter. What happened? The city lord of Fengqiao also felt puzzled. Bo Xiu excels in scheming, and Luo Feng is unfathomable. How could it be so easy to pillage tens of trillions of primordial crystals from them? Yet none of the three sides met their demise. Secret Ruins brother. The city lord of Fengqiao was straightforward, directly sending a message to the Secret Ruins Divine Emperor, heard you pillaged tens of trillions of primordial crystals from Luo Feng Divine Emperor. In terms of individual status in Chengfeng City, the city lord of Fengqiao ranks first, the Secret Ruins Divine Emperor second. No. On the way back, the Secret Ruins Divine Emperor received the message and quickly clarified, Luo Feng Divine Emperor's strength is invincible throughout the Dark Sacred Realm. How could we pillage tens of trillions of primordial crystals from him? What did you say? The city lord of Fengqiao was stunned, immediately pressing further. You say he's invincible in the Dark Sacred Realm? Yes, invincible. The Secret Ruins Divine Emperor confirmed, Luo Feng Divine Emperor is in existence at the invincible level. The city lord of Fengqiao felt a bit dazed. Once, there was an invincible existence living in his Chengfeng city for 1,000 eras. He had traded several times with this invincible existence, and even made considerable profits from these transactions. I profited from an invincible existence's resources. The city lord of Fengqiao only felt regret at this moment. An enormous opportunity had once been right before him. He missed it. He arrived in the Dark Sacred Realm for 1,000 eras, and hadn't even visited the large primordial hall, yet he was already at the invincible level. What terrifying potential is this? The city lord of Fengqiao gritted his teeth. I must go over there. Even to heed just a bit of his guidance is worth it. He immediately decided to send a main avatar to quickly head to the large primordial hall. I must quickly tell my senior brother. The city lord of Fengqiao thought. His senior brother is the Dragon 9 Daoist monarch, who resides in the large primordial hall of Primordial City. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Primordial City, the first city of the Dark Sacred Realm. Swoosh. A ship suddenly appeared outside Primordial City through a blurry seam in the heavens. We've arrived. Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kaizhen looked at Primordial City right in front of them, surprised by the speed. In just moments, they had already reached Primordial City. Luo Feng's gaze had already set upon the large primordial hall within the city. At this moment, inside the large primordial hall, two high-level primordial lives were also watching Luo Feng. He's here. Qiu Ji and Yufei noted. According to the Lord's words, Luo Feng is now just one step away from the half-primordial life and death path, and not being hindered by a bottleneck, is continuously perfecting. Ge marveled, with his cultivation speed and potential, the final obstacles couldn't stop him. Indeed, soon he'll surpass us. Euphaya also had a hint of envy. The 3 paths at the invincible level. The first 2 paths involve refining primordial bloodlines to eventually become high-level primordial lives. The last path is different. The half-primordial fusion path, under the nurturing of the Lord and others, typically grants the potential to become world-level primordial life, and upon mastering the home source world, becomes the master of the source world. Ge also envied. World-level primordial lives, even within the entire cultivator camp, are exceedingly scarce. In terms of status and strength, they are far superior to us. This video will end here.